Is Bitcoin in a new bull market? This is the question that a lot of us have had on our minds for the past few years, right? We've been waiting for this next big move in crypto, in Bitcoin for several years. But have the signs finally been shown that we are now in a bull market? Well, let me take you on a little bit of a journey to show you, based on price action, based on the news flow that's coming out, and the acquisitions of more and more Bitcoin from different companies, as well as some of the data that's available that shows us that more than likely we are in a new bull market. So let's go through the journey. Again, for those of you who do not know me, my name is Amal. I've been a trader for about 11 and a half years. I started off in US equities. I then traded commodities, Forex, and in 2016, I got into Bitcoin and crypto. My methodology to looking at markets is very simple. I like to stay as agnostic as I can when looking at price action, when looking at assets, and I like to buy into assets that I can hold on to for a longer period of time. I do often trade quite a bit on smaller time frames like the 1 hour, 4 hour daily charts, but generally I like to buy into trending environments and hold these positions for a longer period of time because that's honestly where most of the money is made. And so, for the most part, I've had a significant amount of Bitcoin holdings in my possession since my 2016, 2017 buy, which I've never really sold. In fact, I kept adding on a little bit here and there to my positions over time. And then, of course, I bought into some more GBTC over time just for retirement and IRA purposes. But the one thing that has given me more confidence and given me more insight into Bitcoin and crypto is the news flow, the price action, and some of the data that I've been seeing recently. So first things first, I'm going to start off with all the different things that have been happening on the news side. Okay, so I'm sure you guys have heard about this. JP Morgan, they turned bullish on Bitcoin, citing their potential long-term upside. Now, you guys remember, if you were around in 2017, 2018 days, they really crapped on Bitcoin, saying that it was a Ponzi scheme or a scam. This is a long way from that, right? And that's okay if they said that then. I don't mind it because, to be honest, the way the bubble was developing back then, it sure as heck looked like Bitcoin and all of crypto was a scam. But as we know, people who have been in this space for the last several years, we've been watching the development of projects, of things within Bitcoin, people being invested in Bitcoin. We've also seen the slow deterioration of our traditional financial system. And so we know that things like Bitcoin and things like decentralized finance and things like blockchain technology can help rebuild that and make it better. So JP Morgan turning bullish was, in my opinion, a very, very good looking sign. Now, personally, I think that they're going to be just a general player on the secondary tier of providing liquidity to institutional players that want to get in, and that's fine. Okay, there's going to be a lot of big players that are going to come into this market, bigger hedge funds, bigger institutions, bigger banks. They're going to want a chunk of Bitcoin, and they're going to want to trade it, and they're going to want to make money, and that's okay. Any news, in my opinion, is good news for Bitcoin. Okay, JP Morgan Chase providing liquidity for institutions, great. If they call it a scam, great. If they come back 3 years later and they start telling people that, you know what, we think that Bitcoin has potential to take a market cap out of gold, which is pretty much what they've alluded to, that's also great. Take all these signs with positivity, but also with a grain of salt, because you don't necessarily know if JP Morgan is a Bitcoin believer now, but we do know that any sort of exposure like this is good. The second thing that happened recently, PayPal gave 346 million of their users a new way to buy Bitcoin, meaning they are going to allow buying and selling, potentially using their platform for Bitcoin. Now, again, you cannot transfer the Bitcoin to other PayPal accounts or out of PayPal, and that's okay. Again, things are not going to be perfect outright. This is a slow growing adoption. And even if it's not adoption and PayPal doesn't give a crap about Bitcoin, they're just saying, we just want exposure to this because clearly there's 346 million people that want to use this. They can make some fees out of it. That's okay. That's their job as a corporation. They don't have morals, and that's fine. Their job is to simply make money, and whether it's through Bitcoin or any other means, that's good for us, right? We now have a big company like PayPal basically vouching and saying, hey, Bitcoin is good enough for us to allow our users to buy it. The third piece of news, MicroStrategy bought about $425 million of Bitcoin. They're now up about 20 to 25% on their purchase. Solid move, in my opinion. This is going to be, again, a good piece of news that the news and typical media, traditional media, is going to pick up and run with over the next coming months. With this holding, I think they have opened up the doors to make other companies think about their free cash flow of what to do with it, just in case there are currency crises coming up, just in case they're preparing for the next decade between 2020 and 2030 of what are the most pressing and emerging innovative assets or innovative markets that are coming up. And in my opinion, that has to be Bitcoin and crypto. The fourth piece of news, again, Square, of course, as you know, bought about $50 million worth of Bitcoin investment. They've been doing this for a while. Jack Dorsey, the creator and founder of Square, has been very vocal on Bitcoin. If you look on his Twitter, the only thing that he has in his Twitter description is Bitcoin. So all four of these pieces of news, in my opinion, are showing us that Bitcoin is slowly getting into that positive news flow of the market. Now, positive news flow doesn't mean anything if you don't see price appreciation. So we're going to get to that in a little bit. But aside from positive news flow, there are other metrics that I pay attention to. Now, my friend over at CryptoQuant, Ki Youngju, he and his team have created this awesome platform where they get to look at data of Bitcoin moving to and from exchanges. Now, the two pieces of data points that I look at is Bitcoin all exchanges outflow. Okay, what this tells me is how much Bitcoin is being moved off exchanges into cold wallets or other wallets out of exchanges. Why is this important? Well, because when Bitcoin is taken off exchanges, it reduces the sell pressure that's available on exchanges. When more often than not, we've seen that Bitcoin in large amounts have been moved off exchanges, meaning the outflows are higher, it has generally told us that there is a new bull market on the way because most big players are moving their Bitcoin off exchanges. So they're not seeing, imminent price collapse anytime soon. What they're in fact seeing is potentially more of a price rise coming in the near term. And the near term, CryptoQuant has calculated is anywhere between 3 and 6 months. So it's possible that for another 3 to 6 months, we might have another extended, bullish run on Bitcoin. Now, the other side to that is all exchange inflows. Again, this is just the opposite of moving Bitcoin onto exchanges now. When you move Bitcoin onto exchanges, more than likely, you're looking to start taking profit because the biggest supply holders of Bitcoin are the miners. When miners start to move Bitcoin onto exchanges, they're looking to take profit. They're looking to cash out their Bitcoin into dollars, into their local currency, and buy equipment with it, pay their bills with it, pay electricity with it, et cetera, et cetera. Now, even that has been generally low, okay? So with outflows low and, with inflows low and outflows high, that tells us that Bitcoin, once again, is showing signs of a potential extended bull market. Now, let's see if the price reflects that. So I'm only going to look at the weekly, 6-month, and yearly charts. That's it. We're going to keep it very simple, okay? So the weekly chart is, in my opinion, one of the cleanest looking charts there are. There was a very clear looking left shoulder, head, right shoulder that broke out. We retested that neckline as support, and now we're pushing out. It cannot get more clear like this. Now, of course, I, along with many others, have clearly missed that this was a previous retest of a head and shoulders pattern, and I kicked myself for it. But you know what? I'm only going to kick myself for it for a minute and then move on because There's going to be many setups in life that you're going to miss like this that are literally hitting you in the face. But whether you get caught up with the news flow or the price action or whatever happens, sometimes people just get caught up with their own emotions and fear of, too much risk or losing money, et cetera, et cetera. But the point is, now that we see that this is a clear evidence, inverse head and shoulders that broke out and retested and pushed off, this, in my opinion, is very bullish. It's very bullish to the point that, from here, effectively, if you're looking at, let's just say, a measured move, right, from the head to the neckline and the breakout and the retest right here, well, we should be looking at a target of about $17,000. $17,000 should be our measured move of this movement to the upside. Okay. That, in my opinion, again, solid movement, right? From here, that's another $4,000 move. Let's look at the 6-month chart. This is where, again, things become a little bit more clear of exactly where we are. Okay. If you look at this consolidation, this to me looks like a nice pennant developing. Now, this pennant last quarter, right, it could have easily broken down, or this quarter, it could have started to continue down, but it didn't. We actually pressed up higher. Of course, we have 66 more days left to go by the end of the year, by the end of the 6-month candle. But so far, so good. It looks really good, right? Now, the only thing that we require from here is a push up past this marker right here where these two 6-month candles close, which is around $13,880. So remember, 14,000 is a big target level that we should be paying attention to. And if we break above this area right here, kind of like we did right here, then I think we should be expecting one more year of upside, at least. Okay, and that's at least. So that means going into 2021, we should start seeing price appreciate quite a bit higher. And again, that's just based on the previous fractal of what happened here. It's not necessary that it has to happen the same way, but I'm just mentioning it here. So as you can see, clearly things look good on the 6-month time frame. And of course, you still got to wait 66 days because anything can happen. Finally, I wanted to cover the 12-month chart because this, in my opinion, is one of the most important charts that is showing us that Bitcoin is putting in some very good price action that maybe a lot of people are missing because most have not gone beyond four-hour charts or daily charts. So it's important to look on the yearly time frame because the yearly time frame, in my opinion, is very simple. We need a break and a hold above 13,880, which again, I just showed you on the 6-month chart. So we have 66 days to do that. I don't expect price to go up in a straight line. I think there's going to be a lot of choppiness, a lot of up and down volatility. But if we get that close above $13,880, the next year we should be expecting more upside. It doesn't have to be a massive candle like this, but it could be more upside. We could be getting to our previous high, 20,000. We could be getting to 25 or 30,000. Okay, but if we get that close above this, that is very bullish. So you now know my views of all the news flow that's coming out, all the exchange outflows, exchange inflow data, and then of course weekly, 6-month, and yearly time frame. I'm a Bitcoin bull until I'm going to be forced to change otherwise. I don't see the need to be shorting right now. If you are shorting, just be very careful that you are looking for only just quick turnarounds. Remember that the market is showing you that it is starting to trend up, whether it's on a weekly, monthly, 6-month, 12-month basis. And so pullbacks, in my opinion, are the areas that you should be looking for buy opportunities. Non-investment advice. Do with this information as you wish. Again, if you want to join our Advantage community, go to the Alpha Trades website, hit the products page right here. For $97 a month, you can join our Advantage membership, and you will get access to all our Discord channels right here in our crypto side, as well as our equity side right here. I hope y'all come join. Come trade with us in the next bull market. Again, y'all take care. Have a good rest of your week, and we'll talk to you soon. Cheers and hit the thumbs up.